Scouts BSA Troop 36, chartered over 70 years ago at the Saugatuck Congregational Church, is pleased to welcome you to our Eagle Scout Court of Honor in recognition of the achievement of Scouts' highest award by Dylan Kurpiel and Jackson Cregan. Thank you all for coming. My name is Nathaniel Greeley, a first-class scout and the senior patrol leader of Troop 36. I will be presiding over the Court of Honor and serve as Master of Ceremonies. Please rise for the entrance of the Eagle Scouts and the presentation of the colors. Please remain standing until directed to sit.
Color guard, present the colors. Post the colors.
Will the Eagle Scouts please come up now and take your seat?
Salute your hand over heart for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Scout side. On my honor,
I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country, to obey the scout law, done by the people at all times, to keep myself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. Color guard dismissed. You may be seated. I would now like to introduce our Scoutmaster, Mr. Andrew O'Brien.
Thank you, Nathaniel. I'd like to welcome you all this afternoon as we share in this important recognition of our two most recent Eagle Scouts. Today's a day of celebration for them and their journey in scouting. You will hear throughout this program how this accomplishment covers numerous areas associated with their lives. It is not just the completion of specific requirements, it is the development of their leadership, character, and the traits described in the Scout Oath and Scout Law. It takes a great deal of discipline and work to achieve and marks them as someone who has done a lot and of whom much should be expected in the future. I would like to introduce you to our newest Eagle Scouts. Please stand when I call your name. Dylan Kurpiel and Jackson Cregan. You may be seated. Jackson joined Scouting BSA in 2011 as a Cub Scout and joined our troop in 2017. He's been an active member of Troop 36 in the Connecticut Yankee Council. He has served as Assistant Patrol Leader, Nature Instructor, and Outdoor Ethics Guide. Jackson attended summer camp with us for 4 summers and worked as a counselor at summer camp for 1 summer. He has earned 43 merit badges, including 15 Eagle required merit badges. He received the Distinguished Conservation Service Award, the 3rd person in the state of Connecticut to be so honored, and the 1st ever in the Connecticut Yankee Council. Dylan Kurpiel also joined in 2011 and joined our troop in 2017. He's been an active member of Troop 36 Westport in the Connecticut Yankee Council. During his time in the troop, Dylan has served as quartermaster, assistant patrol leader, and patrol leader. He attended scout camp for 7 years with us. He He earned 28 merit badges, including 14 Eagle required merit badges. I will now turn it over to Nathaniel to introduce our keynote speaker.
At this time, I would like to introduce our program keynote speaker, Michelle Sorensen. Ms. Sorensen is the president of Friends of Sherwood Island, an organization that Troop 36, including, as you'll hear later in the program, both of our Eagle Scouts honored tonight, has been involved with for many years. Please join me in welcoming Ms. Sorensen.
Thank you. Am I the right distance from this? Good, thanks. I can still remember the day on November 20th, 2020, that Jackson joined my garden team effort in the dunes at Sherwood Island. It was winter, it was cold and windy, and we were removing invasive plants from the dunes so that the native plants would have more success. It's not a fun job. There were several other people with him whom I don't recall seeing again, but Jackson came back. He kept coming back every weekend, and he brought his dad along, and that was a great father-son activity. And every weekend, every time a chance he got, he was a part of our team. Now, I run the Friends Garden team at Sherwood Island, and I started in 2017 when I noticed that the dunes were missing from a large section of Sherwood Island State Park. And I wanted to do something about that because coastal habitat is critical for birds and butterflies, two groups of organisms that I've loved since I was a young girl. And so I became a master gardener so that the board of Friends of Sherwood Island would accept me as a garden team leader. They were sending up roadblocks. So you have to ignore roadblocks, right? They come when you're trying to do something. So in July, and I just looked at my notes, July 4th, Jackson sent me an email. And I've been seeing him almost every week, right? Mrs. Sorensen, I have an idea. I really love this work. I would like to try for what used to be called the Hornaday Award. And I've got some ideas for a couple of projects that might satisfy that award. And I said, that is awesome, Jackson. Now, when you're working hard to do something that you love, like helping wildlife in the environment, well, what do you want most? Volunteers. You want more people to help you. So, I had been thinking that very week, I wish I could clone myself because I'm real good at organizing to get people, tools, keep the people happy with refreshments, the whole thing, having a schedule, getting the schedule together, and get people down to the beach. He's offering to do that. Holy mackerel. This was so exciting for me. Really was. It was exciting for me. And I want more like that. Now, you young boys who are listening in the background, I have this message. If you have something you really want to do, you have to find someone in your local town who is really good at what you want to do. So I want to thank Dan Woog, who's here, who I believe suggested to Jackson that he contact me because of the work I was doing at Sherwood Island. And it's all about community. Who knows who in reference? You got to check in and say, all right, I really love birds. What can I do to help birds? Well, I can tell you just the person to contact. There are people who are doing stuff that you might find really important for climate change or whatever other thing really gets you excited. So having a mentor, I'll be 75 this year. The last quarter of my life, what do I want to do? I want to help anyone who's interested in helping the earth to get where they want to go, okay? By the time you're my age, you have a lot of connections, and you've learned a lot, hopefully. So finding that mentor to help you is, the way to go. Now, I am still mentoring. Jackson isn't my only mentee. Every summer, for quite a few years, because I'm the president of the Friends of Sherwood Island, and I'm also the advisor for the Nature Center. So every summer, we have 6 interns at the Nature Center. Well, any high school or college student can apply to be an intern at the Nature Center, and you're going to work with me. I'm a hard taskmaster, but you're going to learn. Okay, so that's an opportunity I have every summer to work with 6 new young people to help them get excited. And I just got an email this morning from one of last year's interns asking me if I could write her a reference for Westchester Land Trust, because now she's a junior at Smith College and she's looking for a summer job. So, how do you get that next job? You find a mentor who has connections or who you work for and will give you a glowing reference, not because you just, signed up and then showed every once in a while, but when you're someone as exceptional as Jackson, who comes week after week after week and leads. Oh my gosh, so I just have to briefly tell you, I hope I didn't use the name of the Lord in vain. The day in 2022 when we planted 200 more feet of beach grass on Sherwood Island, double the amount we would normally plant, Jackson was completely in charge of his section. He ordered the grasses. He was a little late, so he had to get them someplace else. So he figured it out and got them from Cape May. He ordered the tools. He got volunteers. Somebody got the refreshments together, and we had a table down at the beach. He ran his show. Now, if you all have known Jackson for a while, he was a little bit shy when I first met him. He didn't speak up much. And I said, Jackson, if you're going to lead a group on the beach, you have to be able to tell them what to do. You have to lead. You have to know the procedure and check on them. I don't want you necessarily planting the beach grass. You're there to make sure they do it right? So I saw a dramatic change in Jackson's leadership that summer. And I love it, because that's what we need, is people who are willing to take charge, learn, and not be afraid to lead others. I get nervous about being a little bossy sometimes, but if we're all followers, where are we going to get? Somebody has to have an idea, figure out how we're going to do it, and work together, collaborate to get it done. So I hope I have a few messages that resonate with you and that make sense. I'm going to stop talking, but anyone who's looking for an experience that involves butterflies, birds, I also love turtles, and we have diamondback terrapins, which Jackson found while digging and working in my garden team down at Sherwood Island. Lots of things that I can help mentor you with, or help you with a badge, completing a badge. So please call on me as a resource, michellemsorensen@gmail.com. I live right over the border in East Norwalk, and friendsofsherwoodisland.org is, I have I do all the social media for Friends of Sherwood Island, so I'm always posting on Facebook. Like it, okay? Because interesting photographs of animals and stuff like that to get you excited about all we have to offer at the beach, at the wonderful coastal habitat that exists in Westport, Connecticut at Sherwood Island State Park. Thank you so much for having me.
This usually takes place a little later in the ceremony, but Ms. Sorensen has to leave us early today, and we just wanted to recognize that one of the things that an Eagle Scout can do is honor a mentor with a mentor pin. It's part of an Eagle Scout kit of pins that they present. And Jackson has decided that he would like to give his mentor pin to Ms. Sorensen, and I could bring Jackson up now.
Thank you. Somebody take a picture for me. Okay, wait. This is an important moment.
Yeah.
I'm very proud.
Thank you very much for everything.
Yes. To be continued.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jackson.
Thank you, Ms. Sorensen. Now we would like to welcome Ms. Andrea Moore, second select woman for the town of Westport, who will say a few words for the Eagle Scouts.
Hello, everyone. Again, I'm Andrea Moore. I'm the second select woman. Jen Tooker, our first select woman, unfortunately was, I think, triple booked today. So unfortunately, you get the B team, but I'm really happy to be here to celebrate with you guys. We got these terrific letters from your group. I'm not sure who sent them, but it listed all of your accomplishments over the course of the last 10 years or how. It's amazing how many things the two of you have done. I was kind of blown away reading it, all the awards and the badges and the counseling, going to camp. I mean, it's really, you guys should be really proud of yourself. And there should be more, in my opinion, there should be more kids like you. So I just want to give you a round of applause. All of the things that you do, we should have more people in our communities and in our country doing. I think the lessons and the commitment to community and volunteering and the environment and all those things are just so critical. And so hopefully you're setting a great example for the younger ones, and there'll be more to come. With that, I have some proclamations to read. They're a little wordy, I apologize, but I don't know, how do you guys usually do it? It's one for each of them. So should I just read it? Just do it one time, and then we can maybe take some pictures? Okay, great. In recognition of completing the requirements for and having been examined by an Eagle Scout Board of Review as worthy, the Westport Board of Select Women honors Jackson Cregan, correct? Okay. And Dylan Kurpiel. I asked your mom, and I knew I was going to mess that up. So, okay. On achieving the rank of Eagle Scout. Jackson and Dylan's road to Eagle Scout have been impressive. Both active members of Troop 36, Westport, Connecticut, both have been, oh boy, so they're a little bit different. So both have had very strong leadership positions, including assistant patrol leader, natural instructor, outdoor ethics guide. In addition, I'm going to do Jackson's first because I feel like I'm going to not say this appropriately. In addition, Jackson has earned 43 merit badges, including 15 Eagle-related merit badges. Further, he has received the Distinguished Conservation Service Award. Jackson's Eagle Service project was to remove invasive species and plant a pollinator pathway at Sherwood Island State Park. This project included manual labor, managing volunteers, and researching and developing a plan for ongoing maintenance and fundraising. This special activity and the resulting conservation and environmentally conscious efforts means that individuals will be able to enjoy the area in this beloved state park for generations to come. On behalf of the town of Westport, we offer congratulations and best wishes to Jackson on this impressive accomplishment. His perseverance and dedication to scouting is exemplary. And this is signed by both Jen, myself, and Candace Savin, the Board of Selectwomen. So Jackson. Okay, on to Dylan. On the achievement of achieving the rank of Eagle Scout. As an active member of Troop 36, Dylan joined the Scouts in 2011, rising to membership in Scout BSA in 2017. Since that time, he has held many leadership positions, including quartermaster, assistant patrol leader, and patrol leader. Also, he attended BSA summer camp for 7 years and earned 28 merit badges, including 14 Eagle required merit badges. Dylan's Eagle Scout service project involved building and installing traps to reduce the invasive spotted lanternfly population at Sherwood Island State Park. Dylan's efforts included researching and creating the trap assembly, sourcing materials through community outreach, and supervising a team to install the traps at the park. Ultimately, the project proves advantageous to many by mitigating the effects of this devastating insect invasion to native plant species. On behalf of the town of Westport, we applaud Dylan's commitment to scouting. His achievement is a wonderful example of all young people in scouting, as well as all of our youth in our community. Congratulations, Dylan. Can I get a pic? Will you take a picture of these guys with me so we can post it on our social? If you guys don't mind, we'll post it on Monday. Thank you. Congratulations again.
Thank you, Ms. Moore. I would like to invite Life Scout Dylan O'Brien to the podium to tell us a bit about what it takes to become an Eagle Scout.
I would like to tell you the story of Eagle Mountain. Early one morning, a young boy stood at a trailhead. Before him rose a mighty mountain, which seemed all the mightier when compared with his smallness. A trail led to the mountain, and then up it to incredible heights before vanishing in the clouds. On this trail, the boy could see other boys and young men, some of whom turned and beckoned him to follow. The boy began to climb, refusing perhaps to believe he could ever reach the top. At first, the trail rose gently, and the boy had many companions, but soon he began to sweat and breathe heavily, and many of his companions turned away, and still the boy climbed. At times he climbed quickly, at times he climbed slowly. At times he had to go down a little way to find another path, or stop a while to catch his breath, but still he climbed. The trail became steeper, the air thinner, but the climber scarcely noticed that, for he had, along the way, become stronger of body and hardier of spirit, and still he climbed. And finally, in the cool peace of evening time, he stood alone at the top of the world and looked around him. To the left, he saw a fiery golden sunset. To the right, he saw a diamond-studded, silky black night sky. Behind him, he saw the trail that he had followed and the hikers who were following in his footsteps. And in front of him, he saw another mountain, and another, and another, and a whole procession of mountains marching off to the horizon. But the young man, for now he was a man, knew that none of these other mountains was insurmountable, that all could and would be climbed, for he had learned many skills in the climbing of the first mountain, and he would carry those skills with him long after this mountain was forgotten. And besides, he could begin climbing the next mountain tomorrow. Tonight, he would rest and celebrate and ponder the journey that he had completed. And so now, we pause to rest and celebrate and honor the journey of these young men as they stand at the top of the world that looks around them.
Thank you, Dylan. Every journey creates memories. At this time, we'd like to invite each of the Eagle Scouts to share a story from their journey.
So, am I being heard well? Okay, cool. So, one of my favorite trips in all of scouting is definitely Camps Across the Summer Camp. So Camps Across, it offers a really good program for getting a lot of merit badges, having a good time. But there's one specific moment I remember from Camps Across. And so, So normally in Camps of Crossing, for all 3 meals, breakfast, lunch, dinner, you go to a dining hall where they have very nice chefs who make the meal for you. When since I need to get a cooking requirement, I asked that if I could be cooking a dinner instead on one night, and I was allowed to. My plan was to make cheeseburgers, but the problem was while I was making them, they sort of just like fell apart, like just turned in like little bits and pieces. It was very little stressful, very unexpected, but I managed to make do with it. Managed to make a meal called scrambled patty, which people liked. It was actually missing the cheese, but they liked it, so I guess it worked out. But what I learned from that was that like we talk a lot about being prepared in scouting, and that's not just being physical. Like it's not about like having everything you need, knowing the plan, all that. It's also about a mental aspect, being mentally prepared in order to adjust your plan and just be ready to adjust to the flow and know what to do no matter what happens.
A big memory that stood out to me was the Camps of Clawson cabin trip in the winter. So we did a lot of merit badges there, like cooking, and it was like a tough one to get because a lot of scouts needed to get it because it was Eagle required, and a lot of scouts took a while to get the badge. So one time, our scout master decided to have a bunch of scouts cook a bunch of food, and it did not turn out great. One scout somehow caught pancakes on fire and had to throw it in the snow. And then the same day, I was on dessert duty, and the brownies was hard on top, but in the inside it was gooey and liquid. And then another scout dared another scout to eat it, and they had to leave because they got sick. So I would say that would be a good memory.
Thank you all. One of the last and most challenging requirements to become an Eagle Scout is the Eagle Project. This is usually a large effort as it requires the Eagle candidate to find a project and willing beneficiary, solve planning problems like permits, funding materials, organize volunteers, training your helpers, dealing with every conceivable delay. On and on it goes. Let's take a few minutes to hear more about what they did. First class scout, Tenderfoot Scout Jack Donroe will tell us more about Dylan Kurpiel's Eagle Scout project. If you could come on up.
Dylan's project helped Sherwood Island State Park by reducing the population of an invasive species known as the spotted lanternflies. These pests group up in large swarms and are notorious for feeding on important crops, such as grapes, causing high agricultural damage. Dylan's team of scout volunteers constructed 32 spotted lanternfly traps out of netting and wood, as well as recycled milk jugs that were donated by the community. They then attached these traps to trees across Sherwood Island State Park. Spotted lanternflies need to climb up trees to make their nests, so the traps are specifically designed to block their paths and force them to climb into the trap. Within days after installation, people reported a significant number of lanternflies being caught in the traps, which will decrease their numbers by preventing them from nesting.
Thank you, Jack. Star Scout Finn Martins will tell us more about Jackson's project.
Jackson's Eagle Scout project focused on creating a pollinator pathway on the east beach of Sherwood Island. His aim was to build a corridor of native plants that provide nutrition and habitat for pollinated insects, bees, butterflies, and birds. Jackson led a team including members of Troop 36. They first cleared out invasive plants which had taken over the entire beachfront. To remove them, it required hard physical labor over an area of 17,000 square feet. The team removed Asian bittersweet, spotted knapweed, mugwort, and phragmites, which had been there for decades. After the area was cleared, his team seeded the area with the native pollinating plants goldenrod, bergamot, milkweed. By the next spring season, the plants were already growing, and the monarch butterflies, bees had found them. This project did not end after all of Jackson's Eagle requirements were met. Others took up the continuation of the It's not there. I swear. Where were you just? I was just here. Project. Sorry. Michelle Sorensen, the Friends of Sherwood Island, and the park ranger and his crew built upon Jackson's initial work. During the spring, they temporarily cleared the remaining half-mile stretch of the east beach of invasives. This allowed the park ranger to begin mowing the invasives as they grew back. This has not been able to contain the invasives, which has allowed the area to thrive. Today, the East Beach at Sherwood Island is totally transformed. Just visit the beach there and you will see. Where there used to be a 6-foot wall of invasives covering the entire half-mile stretch of the East Beach, you can now see beach grass and active wildlife habitats and pollinators buzzing around. This pollinator pathway project was Jackson's second big project at Sherwood Island. Jackson's first project was an attempt to restore dunes to the East Beach of Sherwood Island. Beach grass was planted over 6,000 square feet of bare beach to create new dunes and reinforce the few existing dunes. To complete both of the projects, Jackson united over 50 local volunteers across 5 different local organizations, 2 capital raises, and his 300 personal hours of research, planning, and execution. Overall, Jackson's project improved the area of Sherwood Island, but also showed the power of community collaboration and environmental stewardship. The Boy Scouts of America National Office honored Jackson by awarding him the highest conversation award in all of Scouting. This award is rarely achieved, and Jackson is the 3rd Scout in Connecticut to earn this award in 108 years, and the first ever from the Connecticut Yankee Council.
Thank you, Finn. We've now learned a lot about how these 2 young men achieved the rank of Eagle Scout. But being an Eagle Scout also requires commitment to the future. Scoutmaster O'Brien will now deliver the Eagle Charge. Would the Eagle Scouts please rise?
Jackson and Dylan, you have each provided an outstanding example to everyone around you of how an Eagle Scout leads, works, acts, and lives. Now it's time to look ahead, to bring your many gifts and your considerable experience out into the wider world as adults. It is sometimes said that you can tell someone is an Eagle Scout without being told they are. I am confident that will be true of you. Today I charge you to rededicate yourself by repeating this Eagle promise with me. Resolve to uphold forever its principles with the same ambition and perseverance you have brought so far. Scout sign. I affirm my allegiance to the promises of the Scout Oath I thoughtfully recognize and will always fulfill the obligations and responsibilities of an Eagle Scout. On my honor, I will do my best to make my training an example to others and use my influence and status as an Eagle Scout to work for a brighter, more just future for all. In my community, in my nation, and in my world. To this I pledge my sacred honor. Two. You may be seated. May the oath you have just taken remain engraved on your hearts. Congratulations again. As your Scoutmaster, I am proud of all. I'm proud of both of you and grateful to have accompanied you on this journey. I'd like to take a moment at this point, particularly because this is being recorded, to recognize that I was not their Scoutmaster for the majority of their journey, and I think it would be appropriate at this point to recognize Craig Patton, who was the Scoutmaster of Troop 36 for many years and was most instrumental in getting Jackson and Dylan to where they are, and hopefully when he watches this, we'll see that we took a moment to recognize his years of hard work and dedication. So if I can get a round of applause for Mr. Patton. Thank you. Would the Cregan family please come forward? Come on up. Assistant Scoutmaster Joe Dunrow will be assisting in the presentation of the awards. First, we will present the Eagle Pin. Jackson's mother will pin the Eagle Pin on Jackson's uniform. Jackson, please rise. Now Jackson's grandmother will present Jackson's neckerchief. Jackson will now present the Eagle Mother's Recognition Pin to his mother. No. Please join me in congratulating Jackson and his family. At this time, I'm pleased to invite Jackson to say a few words.
I am so thankful for the journey that has led me to this moment. To my parents, my mentor Michelle Sorensen, and all those who have supported me throughout my scouting journey, your guidance helped shape me into the person I am today. Through scouting, I discovered qualities that I thought I never had, like determination, leadership, creativity, and love for an adventure. The Scout Oath and Scout Law have always become guiding principles in my life. They are core values that I'll carry with me always. To the Scouts who are here just getting started or who are a year or two in, here's some advice. If you are not sure where to get going, here are two good places. One, go on as many trips as possible. They are fun and you can always learn a lot and do a lot of cool things. And two, just start trying some fun merit badges. I used the merit badges as a way of figuring out what I was interested in and what I wasn't. You can too. I was just like you. I had no idea which ones to do or where to start. However, it is easy. Look through the list of merit badges, find ones that sound fun or interesting to you, and tell your scoutmaster, and he will set you up with a counselor. Before you know it, you'll figure out what you really like, and who knows where it will take you. For me, the interest, values, and experiences I have gained through scouting are taking me to college. I'm about to study agriculture, earth and atmospheric sciences, and natural resources at university. Scouting introduced me to these areas. I'm going to learn more about the earth and try to make it a better place. As I look into the future, I aim to continue to be a positive force in lives of others and the environment around me. The values I've learned through scouting, I live every single day in my life. I'm committed to being physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight in everything that I do. Thanks again to everyone who has been a part of my scouting journey. I greatly appreciate you.
Thank you, Jackson. Would the Kurpiel family please come forward, please? Dylan, will you please rise? Dylan's mother will now present the eagle pin. Yeah, I said mother. Dylan's parents will now present him with the eagle neckerchief. Dylan, please present your mother with the mother's recognition pin. And please present your father with the father's recognition pin. Please join me in congratulating Dylan and his family. At this time, I'm pleased to invite Dylan to say a few words.
I'd like to start by thanking my rhetoric and persuasion teacher, Ms. McHale, for making it possible for me to get up here and give this speech. Obviously, I'd also like to thank a few more adults who made it possible for me to complete this journey. I'd like to thank our former Scoutmaster, Craig Patton. Aside from the normal ways the Scoutmaster helps out, he also had a very certain, direct, and honest mannerism that showed me that being confident is very important in everything you do. I like to believe that confidence rubbed off on me, and for the better. Additionally, I would like to thank Cuckoo Fleming, my counselor for the swim merit badge. It took me so many years to understand how to swim, and I don't think I would have been able to complete that merit badge without her help. She provided so much help, so much tutoring throughout my last few years in order for me to get that badge. I honestly don't think I would have gone into Eagle Scout without her help. Furthermore, I'd like to thank Ms. Bernsteiner for helping me out with my Eagle project. It takes a lot of planning, a lot of consideration, of many small factors, and it's certainly not a process that I could have done alone. Lastly, I need to offer thanks to Mom and Dad. This journey is very stressful, but a lot of that stress was mitigated thanks to their help and constant care, no matter what I was dealing with. My journey through scouting was very difficult. I believe that was a good thing. This is a very difficult program, but I do think who I was as a person when I first joined contributed to this. If you knew me before I joined Scouts BSA, I was the last person you'd expect to become a Boy Scout. I stayed indoors a lot. I didn't really talk to people very often. I didn't realize it when I initially became a Cub Scout so many years ago, but scouting would be my method to overcoming these challenges. This program has done a huge service for my character, and I believe this is a very understated part of being an Eagle Scout. Yeah, the various skills are nice. Like, you can't complain about being able to do first aid, knowing personal management, all that good stuff, all the merit badges, but I think what I'm going to remember the most, what I got the most important thing out of this program, was the amount of confidence I gained mentally and more as I developed from my experiences. And far above any other merit badge that I've earned, how I changed as a human being will be what I was scouting for the most.
Thank you, Dylan. I would also like to note that Dylan has decided that he's going to give his mentor pin to Scoutmaster Patton, and that will be sent on to him. Craig, it'll be there eventually, Craig.
Everyone is welcome to congratulate the Eagle Scouts and their families by joining us downstairs in Hoskins Hall immediately following the conclusion of our ceremony. You can reach Hoskins Hall using the main staircase or the elevator on the side of the building. Will the color guard please take your places? Thomas Noack will lead the closing ceremony. Would the audience please rise and remain standing until the ceremony?
Color guard, retrieve the colors. Scout sign. Scout is
Trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent.
Scout sign, Scout salute. Color guard forward march.
This concludes our Court of Honor. Please join us downstairs in Hoskins Hall.
And I swear to you, we practiced that. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.